Hi everybody, it's April from April's Crochet.and.more, and I was asked to do a video on an infinity scarf. An infinity scarf really isn't much different than a cowl, except maybe longer. All it is a scarf that has no end. When I made my infinity scarf, I put it when I was doing my chain, I put it around my neck as I was going and counting to see how far down I wanted the scarf to hang. An infinity scarf, some people make them so that they can actually be twisted and put around your neck twice, or like I made mine, just one to just hang down lower on my chest. I chained 180, and then I slip stitched to form my ring, so it is worked in the round. And so when you do your chain and when you go to slip stitch it, try to make sure that you don't have your chain twisted. I am going to make just a short one to show you how I did it. I don't want to, because if I do the whole chain, the whole scarf, since I don't know how to edit, it'll be a really long video where I would have to do it in parts. So I chained, how many did I chain? 40, just to show you. Let me move this. And this is Ice Blue Infinity Scarf. And it's made with the Premier Allure, or Allure, however you want to say it. It's bulky 5. And you're supposed to use a 6mm hook. And I am using a 6.5. If you want more of a drape on your scarf than what I have on mine, then you'll just want to use a little bit bigger hook until you get the drape look that you want. Let's see, this is 70% acrylic, 21% polyester, and 9% alpaca. And of course, you can use any yarn you want to use. This, I'm not sponsored by Premier. This is just happens to be the yarn I thought would make a nice scarf. And I also did do a review on this yarn. So I'm going to slip stitch my chain together, which you'll want to do an even number of chains. Like this is 40, my main scarf was 180. So you slip stitch them together. Let me make sure I didn't twist it. I don't think I did. And then you will chain, you want to chain for row 1, you want to chain 3 plus 1. So you're going to chain 4. And that counts as your first double crochet plus a chain 1. So it'll be double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double, and repeat all the way around. So it will be, there's my 4. I want to skip, I think, make sure. I skipped 1. So right there's the one I'm going to skip. Hope you guys can see that. Then I will go to the second chain and do another double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 1, skip 1, and do crochet, double crochet right there. And I'm going to do this all the way around. Double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, another double crochet, and you'll want to do this all the way around till you get back to your very first double crochet. I have my door open. I hope that traffic noise isn't too much. I hope you guys can see that good enough. I don't know if that makes a difference being in the way or not. And also, while I'm thinking of it, since I just picked this up, when I did my 180 chains with my big scarf that I made, I used the whole ball of yarn, except for this little piece right here. This is how much I had left over. I have 3 balls of this. I thought about making some scarves out of all 3 balls so I can, as for Christmas presents. But I am going to open an Etsy shop with some of my patterns that people have asked for, and that I'm going to try to get videos made of. My surgery is scheduled for October 1st, so I am going to try to pre-record videos to last for probably at least maybe like 1 video, maybe 2 a week through October, because I probably won't be able to get in here to make any videos for that month. Because I will not be allowed to bend, twist, stoop, anything like that for 12 weeks. Approximately 12 weeks, at least 12 weeks. I am having a herniated disc in my back removed because it's pinching on a nerve and on my spinal cord, and it's making it so my left leg doesn't want to work. And this will be the 3rd one that I've had to have replaced. So they'll be putting screws and rods, more screws and rods in my back to replace the disc. Okay, I am back to my beginning. I have my skip 1 right there, and this is my first double crochet in the chain 1. So I am going to slip stitch it right here to the 3rd chain, and then let's see, for row 2 I'm going to chain 3, and I am going to go, let me make sure I'm doing it the way my pattern says. Okay, half double crochet, so it's not chain 2, I'm sorry. I forgot I did the half double crochet all the way around it before I started my 3rd row. So right here in your first chain space, you're going to make you're going to do a half double crochet in the first chain space, which, to make this easier, I'm just going to go around that chain space and do my half double crochet. And then where my first double crochet is, I will slip stitch, or not really slip stitch, but do my double crochet or half double crochet in that top stitch. Then in my chain 1, I'm just going to go around the post. Well, I guess, I don't know if you'd want to call that a post or not. In the chain 1 space. I guess that sounds better. I'm going to do this all the way around till we get clear back to the beginning. And you're going to want to count every so often. With this stitch, you don't really have to keep counting, but like in this first, or be the second row, because I'm not counting your chain that you made. You're going to want to count and make sure you have the same amount of stitches, and then you'll be pretty good to go after this row. Well, I have time to kill while I'm doing this, so you guys just don't have to listen to me breathing. I want everybody to please keep Mama Llama Kayla in your prayers. She's been on my mind a lot lately, and I have to say I really don't know how she's doing, but I do believe in the power of prayer. And for those of you that aren't a praying people, again, I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to be politically correct, sorry. Just keep her in your thoughts. And also Carrie from Down the Rabbit Hole. And anyone else that you know might need prayers. Which we can all use thoughts and prayers. But just keep everybody that you know in your thoughts, and go check out their channels while you're thinking about them, and let them know you're thinking about them. I should have your post fly. Some of these are tough to get into because I am going through both loops, and I don't tend to be a very loose crocheter. I always start out with intentions of trying to crochet loose. It doesn't always work for me. I think I do a better job if I'm not paying attention. And of course, while I'm doing this, I'm having to try to look around the camera. I'm trying to glance up to make sure I'm keeping what I'm doing in the view of the camera. If you guys can't see this very well while I'm doing it, you'll have to let me know so the next video I do, I can maybe put white or something underneath on my table. And I'm almost back to the beginning. Of course, you guys aren't going to be making one this small. So, all you have to do is just pause the recording so you can get all the way around your ring. A couple more to do. Plus, if you leave your tail here at the beginning, it helps, because sometimes it's hard to see your stitches, especially since you're only doing a half double crochet. I have, let's see, one more to do, which would be that last chain one space. And you can either slip stitch it together or just keep working in the round. I try to slip stitch mine together and make it so that you can't actually see where it's slipped together. Like on these half double crochets, it really when you slip stitch it together, you really can't tell. So this is the beginning of row 3, and it will be double crochets plus a chain 1. You're going to chain 3, and then in that same space, I guess I'm not holding it up, in that same space, you're going to make another double crochet, and then you are going to chain 1, and then you're going to do a double crochet. Make sure I didn't skip a space. For some reason my directions are confusing me. This is the part we're going to be doing starting in the can't talk, I'm sorry. On the third row, we're going to be starting the shells. I guess you can call them shells. So you're going to do your chain 2 or 2 double crochets, and then you will chain 1 and do 2 more double crochets in the next. So it kind of makes it a shell. Pull this back out. I hope I'm not confusing you guys. I know I'm not very good at making tutorials for, yeah, I can't talk. 3, and then double crochet, or chain 1. Two double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So it's just going to be a repeat of that. It'll be 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets again, all in the same stitch. and you're going to just repeat that. It'll be 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the same chain space. Then you're going to count over 5 spaces. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's where you're going to do your repeat. You'll do double crochet, second double crochet, chain 1 in the same space, 2 more double crochets, and then you're going to count over 5 again. Make sure you don't count the chain that you're already in. You want to go to the one right beside it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2 double crochets, it's 2, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me do that again. It slipped out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double crochet. Two, chain 1, back in the same spot, 2 more double crochets. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2 double crochets, chain 1. You can always pause the video. This is a pretty easy pattern. It's mainly just repeats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because I am doing multiples of 5, when we're doing this, it keeps your chains the same because you're making 5 chains up here, since your first 2 double crochets, then your chain 1, then you have 2 more double crochets. That equals your 5 stitches where you're skipping. And you'll do this all the way around till you get back to your beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes with the fuzzier yarn, it's hard to, in certain spots, it's more fuzzier than others, so it's hard to count your chains. Two, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I keep thinking I'm messing up when I'm counting my 5. But it never hurts to double check. And if you use a yarn that's not as fuzzy as this, you'll be able to see your pattern better. But I like the look of it with this yarn. But any yarn works. It doesn't have to be this one. Then you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, and right here's your back to your beginning, and you're just gonna slip stitch right there. And then row 3 through 8 is just a repeat of what the row we just did. So it'd be chain 3, this would be your second crochet, your double crochet, and your chain 1, yeah, I have my chain 1. So my second set of double crochets. You're going to do the same thing, count over 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I am going through both loops. Guess I just thought it'd be hard to look at that when I'm... Let's see if you could see that on camera. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? Let me see something. I need to make sure I'm doing it right, so I don't mess you guys up if you're following a messed up pattern. And I'm thinking it is going to be messed up. I really wish I knew how to edit, but we all make mistakes, right? Of course, it's going to give me trouble now, because before I wasn't having trouble frogging it. Oh, there we go. Okay, what you're going to want to do is, after you slip stitch your rows together, I forgot I did do this. Get my crochet hook back in there. You're going to have your space right here between your 2 double crochets. And what I did when I was doing mine, I slip stitched it together, and then I just did another slip stitch to the middle of my the space between my 2 double crochets in the previous row, and then that is where I made my double crochet, which it makes it so it kind of hides where you're slip stitching it together when you doing it this way. You're just going to want to go ahead and do your 2 double crochets and your chain 1. Sorry about that. And then you're just going to keep doing that all the way around. In your chain 1 space, that kind of helps so that you don't really have to count too much anymore either, because your count will stay the same since you're going to go around into your chain 1 spaces. It's a little more difficult holding the smaller pieces instead of a full size. I'll finish this row for you, and then I will show you how to do the end of it, which it's just another repeat. Because it's already taken me a half an hour to do this. Of course, if I hadn't made mistakes, then maybe it wouldn't have taken so long. And let's see. Nope, not done yet. But like I said, if I would have done this with the whole normal size infinity scarf like what I made, then it would have taken forever. Even though it's only 10 rows. If you're using the same yarn I am, which you can make yours wider. I mean, anything pretty much goes. You just would keep repeating the pattern. And like I said, I started with 180 stitches, but you don't have to. You can make yours longer if you want, shorter if you want. Just keep it in multiples of 5. That way your pattern won't be off. And your row 10, it's really simple. It's just a repeat of your row 1 and your row 2. That way your top of your beginning and your end matches. And I just stopped. I made mine in trying to keep with only using the one ball. So that's why mine isn't longer. And I just made it where it was comfortable to me. So I'm back to the beginning of the second row. And it is right here. So I'm going to slip stitch. And so when I did my big one, I did rows 3 through 8 were the shell stitches, which is actually like a V stitch, which you can see. And then my top and my bottom, which would be the beginning and the end, I made them to match. So when you're going to end your scarf for your last 2 rows would be a half double crochet all the way around, and it would be just like where we ended with before we started the double crochets. It would be this part right here. You'll just do a half double crochet in each post, and it's also simple enough that you could just do the half double crochets in between the stitches. It makes it a lot easier. You know, my battery's starting to go dead, and plug my phone in. Let me see if it it's charging. And make sure it was still recording. Gonna do your half double crochets all the way around. See, and to see where I was at. Can you guys hear the birds outside my door? I'm sure you can hear that noisy rooster. I guess I would add some music here if I knew how to add it to my video. But since I'm not editing, you guys get it. The real thing, everybody makes mistakes, and you get to see all of mine. I guess I have video proof that I make mistakes. Because this far into the video, I don't want to start over. But since this video won't be coming out today, I'm going to let you all in on a secret. I am getting married this evening. My boyfriend and I are eloping. I guess you could call it eloping. And our minister's marrying us at our church tonight at 8 o'clock. But I guess you would consider it eloping since it's just us and our minister that knows that she's marrying us tonight. She called me right before I started on this video to get the time when she has a really busy month, so we left it up to her when and what time. So it'll be today. We've been together for almost 12 years. So I am back at my beginning. Yeah. So I'm going to do my slip stitch. And then for the last row, row 10, it's just a repeat of row 1. You're going to want to chain your 3 plus 1 to count as your double crochet and your chain 1. And then you're going to double crochet, chain 1, skip the 1 chain, and double crochet again. So this is my double crochet plus 1 for my chain 1. I'm going to skip this one, go over to this one, do my double crochet, then I'm going to do my chain 1, skip 1 chain, do this all the way around, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, I don't know why I started this on the outside. I like to start them on the inside much better. Pull from the center. Let's see, did I do my chain 1? Yeah. So skip 1. Chain 1. Skip 1. Chain 1. Skip 1.